Now, usually I ask about concepts and ideas and not so much about people, but at this Davos, Sam Altman is the person who is driving. He's the highest ticket, right?
Yeah.
As everyone wants to see. What do we make of him? I mean, there's a lot of news around. He's there, he's fired, he's back.
Yeah.
I don't want you to talk about that.
Right.
I want to talk about what he means and represents. Why is it that he has become the poster child for AI?
Well, he is so polished in his presentation. I like to think of him as someone who has been fine-tuned or to absolute perfection. Now, fine-tuning is what you do to an AI model to get it to go from spewing out garbage to being as wonderful as ChatGPT is. And I think that Sam's sort of gone in through the same process because he's really polished. It's really hard for great interviewers, even like you, to get a chink in the armor and get in there. And I think he tells very good stories. He's got one communication technique which I think is brilliant and I hope to learn from myself. Sam gives you the prize at the beginning of his response, and then he explains the build up to it. And it's really clever because you know what you're going to get, and then the explanation comes. And I mean, they're just the polish and the refinement and the sense that he has been asked almost every question before, but he still gives you quite a fresh answer. It's quite tricky in that respect because at some point we want to get underneath that layer and see what's really there, and I don't think people have been able to.
Well, that is very AI-like.
That is very AI-like.
No,
yeah,
I mean in the sense that like we passed the Turing test, right? I mean he's basically done it.
He's done it.
And yet like you think you're talking to a human being, but you have no idea what motivates or drives that human being.
Right. Well, and I think that's a case with the AI systems, and I think it is the case with Sam. For most people who observe him, what's the motivation? Is it money? Is it power? It's normally one of those two things, and they're fungible. But Sam tells a different story. He talks about wanting to work on the most interesting problem with the most interesting people, and that may feel a bit Pollyannish to many of us, but that might actually be what's driving him. I don't know.
But it might not, is what you're saying. You don't know.
We don't know.
Yeah, and that's a little unnerving. You know how sometimes we talk about the uncanny valley?
Yes, that's right. Yeah,
and like you have someone that you think is like, it's really almost a human being, but somehow it doesn't quite connect and it unnerves you.
Yeah.
In the way you've just described it, there's a bit of that. There's a little uncanny Altman going on.
He has exactly those attributes. I think he's deeply strategic. So the other thing that's going on in my head is that he's planned this through. He's planned the behavior, he's planned the interactions. He knows what he needs to say because he's very, very thoughtful. So he's quite a hard person to play this game of chess against.